I gotta get the love again. I'm cringe
They told
confidently or
us
like
that the
opening.
aircraft was perfectly fine, so we went back in to grab our
I
luggage
don't know.
and head to the buses
Yeah.
that drives to the airport.
Hey, it's the character. It's a white character. The white probably's dead,
After an
actually.
accident like this, pilots should always contact the union hotline and get the appropriate legal advice, make sure they're properly represented, and all that legal stuff.
You guys need to appreciate our hard work on getting the plane down safely.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. And our stewardesses that actually care about you.
That's right.
I'm gonna drop through a Burger I'm guessing he's Moon Anime because apparently when I look
The
up
first investigators arrive just an hour later. The rest will arrive soon. They will get to work on the evidence. Investigators begin photographing key elements of the plane. It'll provide more clues later on.
This investigation was actually my first time getting dispatched to a crash site. Going there was rough. We hitched a ride on a quad to get there quickly. It was very unusual seeing a plane just sitting on a field.
Wynn Reynolds is a senior investigator. He will be leading the case.
I'm doing that for sillies.
You're going there, hopefully, with the idea that you can find out what had happened.
Oh my god, I thought
and how do you
the Air
prevent it from
Canada
happening again in the
747.
future?
It's dangerous to see aircrafts from like
Investigators
an
have little
airline
than a
that you
month
never
before
knew
they
they
become
had.
the
Like,
TSB. They would have to
What?
rush to lock in key pieces of evidence before
we're
the
gonna
transition
lock
in March.
We're gonna lock you in.
The two
We'll
black
have the
boxes
best
that store
luck.
flight data and the
Hazard.
cockpit conversations are recovered
You know the
immediately.
plane crash
They seem to be in perfect conditions.
Make sure the black boxes get to the head to retrieve the plane. Because the plane landed in a muddy field. I already knew we can't fly this plane out. And we will have to find a way to get equipment out there.
With the crew being unavailable, the investigators will have to rely on the physical evidence for the time being.
We walked along the path that 373A slided, and we found two metal pieces, which was a part of the plane. Take a picture of that.
The landing gear doors were sheared off.
Those doors were the first one to hit the ground. There's another one over there. Let's check it out. Those two are the only things that separated. The entire plane is just in one piece.
Investigators now know the landing gear doors were open upon impact.
A lot of the systems on the plane, the electrical system, the hydraulic system, the fuel system, all of these systems are looked at, both in terms of what is their history leading up to the accident and what remnants are remaining at the crash site that can be examined.
Investigators suggest getting a fuel sample sent off to the labs to confirm a hunch they have about fuel contamination
within the
By the
engines,
way, it's
as
from
there was a
literally,
111
like,
involved in an accident in West Germany
it's from
back in
3 years
1971.
ago. That shit
All
is
of
not
this for
coming
the
back.
report to come back clean to the investigators. No contamination of fuel played a role.
If the fuel was contaminated, the accident would probably happen far earlier, like dual engine failure or immediately after takeoff, earlier.
But ultimately, we were able to conclude fuel contamination was absolutely no factor in the accident at all.
So, if it's not fuel, then something else killed the engines.
Investigators then turned to the plane's maintenance log, hoping to unravel more.
Then we found out that the APU on this plane failed a week prior to the accident and was scheduled to be pulled from service to have it fixed.
The maintenance done on the plane may play a role in the accident. They interview who done the work on the APU.
I just need to know what you did with the APU.
All right.
The maintenance worker at Toronto that we interviewed testified that the APU was repaired weeks earlier, so it had in no way contributed to the accident either.
Interview the crew. Thanks. That helps. It's not the APU, guys.
So, what could it be?
Weeks into the investigation, they overhear that the government is taking over the investigation, launching a broader inquiry.
The Ontario government was looking for an experienced trial judge to lead the inquiry into the disaster, and preferably one with an aviation background.
To animate models.
One of my colleagues, the Honorable Virgil Moshansky, was off spearheading the inquiry into the Air Ontario accident that happened a little under a year ago, so I was called upon to lead the inquiry into the Maple Wings accident.
Investigators can now finally interview the people that were involved in the incident.
We were quite eager to interview the crew members, as they were the ones that
Canada
saw and
Air-
heard a lot of stuff, on top of flying the
Air
plane
Status-
towards a successful emergency landing in the field.
Canada
While
Air
we applaud
Safety
them for their
Bureau.
ability to land a stricken 111 in a field, we had to make sure they didn't do anything that put that plane in jeopardy.
That's what I
Come along.
booming.
They did accidentally do that.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. I know it's been a rough last couple days for you both.
I don't care
I'm going
about
to ask you both to describe the climb out from
We
Toronto.
need to
to the
let
point
make
of the
sure
emergency
Argentina
landing.
loses.
I want
England
your
has to win.
individual recollections. We're not
At
here to
least
compare
England
statements
or
right now.
whatever it is.
Just to capture what you remember. I'm going to start with you, sir. Take a seat, will you?
That I remembered everything we done, from takeoff to landing.
Yeah!
So investigators were just feeling anticipated.
So,
What?
what can you
That-
tell me about the departure and climb out from Toronto?
It was as normal of a departure anyone
Super
could ask for.
Skooganook.
Mild weather. But we were aware of the risk of icing when monitoring our ice detector during climb.
Did anything seem abnormal?
That takes them a
Out
while.
of the ordinary?
Nothing unusual. We had some ice accumulation. Nothing too terrible.
Did you ever turn on your anti-ice equipment upon the first sign of ice?
I believe we had them on, if I remember correctly. The SOP
Sorry.
dictated we had them on anytime we were in icy conditions. But I didn't believe it was accumulating fast enough to have them on right away. You know what I mean?
So, who was pilot flying for this flight?
Me? I elected to have the role of pilot flying. My first officer took the role of pilot monitoring.
Just to back up a little bit, when did you turn the anti-ice on?
We selected anti-ice on once we had like a few inches of ice on our detector. Couldn't have been any more than 2 inches at the most.
That dude
And
is
then what happened after you turned it
Australian.
It was like all hell broke loose. We had severe loss of thrust, ratings were all over the place, you name it. We consulted with the checklist and declared an emergency.
Did you ever associate the engine issues directly with you turning the anti-ice on?
No, never really thought of that. We were busy trying to maintain control and figuring out where to put it down.
Emirates.
All
Like,
right, I'm
fly
going to pivot
to-
over to your first officer for a bit, all right?
As investigators interview Robert to confirm what Fred saw, Robert has the same experiences as Fred, until
Do you believe that this might have something to do with the anti-ice?
I don't think so. I would like to say it happened afterwards, but we were dealing with all these warnings and all that. I can't see the two being linked.
The same thing as Fred. Every word he spoke out. I do recall that from what I remember.
Just to be clear, both of you recall the engines just shutting down on you shortly after anti-ice activation, but neither of you believe the two are linked at this time?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, we may come back to both of you individually later on once we've reviewed engine data, weather information, and maintenance records. For now, we're building a timeline of events, all right?
The fact the crew reported a catastrophic dual engine failure was so astounding. We could not believe what we were hearing. We interviewed some of the passengers just to verify what the crew said, because it was so improbable that we weren't sure if it was a fluke or the crew misremembering.
investigators interviewed some survivors, who all tell a common story.
Would you guys mind telling us what you remember?
The catastrophic failure of the engines that coincide with the crew's recollection of the anti-ice system being turned on.
The passengers seated in the last 10 or so rows of the plane, all of them consistently seemed to witness the same deal. What appeared to be ice or a similar material coming off the wings or cowling and coming back, possibly ingested into the engines. That seemed to be a common pattern that emerged, so we knew we had to check out the engines.
Investigators now order for the engines to be removed and transported back to a warehouse for further examination. To get to the site easier, bulldozers are used to make a stable path from the nearest road to the plane. And to protect the airline's reputation and image, workers painted over the logos to hide it from the media.
This is going to be a high-profile and potentially highly controversial investigation, and the only way the truth stands up is to have the hard evidence from the aircraft itself, and we put it in the lab located at the capital, Ottawa. digging deeper into
What?
the engines, we found out these poor
He
Rolls
just
Royce had been
used.
through
This
the
is not
ringer. There
content
was
farm.
significant damage to the compressors.
Now
and the
you're
core of
getting
the engine that was
content
consistent
farms are
with the
just
fan
pumping out the
blades being
same
broken off
things
and
over
ingested
and
deeper
over
inside
and
the
over
engines.
again.
The engines are damaged significantly from the debris.
He's not a
It's
content
obvious